Hello everybody, and thank you guys for tuning in this video. My name is Cole Martins, and today's episode we'll be talking about the NFL in Week 15. Last week, a little iffy on the predictions, went 9-7, still a winning record, so can't hate on that. But overall season record right now goes to 114, 82, and 2, so still keeping a pretty good record in that one. And in this part, we'll be talking about the first 8 games of the 16 games total this week in Week 15 in the NFL. And before we go to the games, we're talking about the AFC playoff picture coming in this week. As right now, in first place, we have the 11-2 New England Patriots, the leaders of the East. In second place, the Kansas City Chiefs, who are the leaders of the West. Third place, the Pittsburgh Steelers, leaders of the North. And in fourth place, the Houston Texans at 7-6, the leaders of the South. And then our two wildcard teams right now are the Oakland Raiders at 10-3, and sixth place, Denver Broncos with an 8-5 record. Teams that are chasing those two teams down, the division leaders for the division lead. Miami Dolphins, who are 8-5, and right now they'll have to have the New England lose the rest of the season and then to win out for them to win that division. Baltimore at 7-6 right now, a game behind the Pittsburgh Steelers. They will play next week in Week 16, so something to look forward to in that one. Tennessee at 7-6 right now, tied with the Houston Texans for the division lead. I believe they meet the last week of the season, so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that one. The Indianapolis Colts at 6-7 right now, a game behind Houston after suffering a loss to them last week. And last but not least, the Buffalo Bills at 6-7 right now, having to chase down the Denver Broncos, 2 games back behind them. So now we'll head into Week 15 here in the NFL, and our first game of the week will be a Thursday night football game as the Los Angeles Rams will take on the Seattle Seahawks. This one, Los Angeles comes in the game 4-9 after suffering a very, very big loss to the Atlanta Falcons, which ended up being their 4th straight loss in a row now. And more importantly, after this loss, Jeff Fisher finally has been fired as the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams. Replacing him is John Fassel, who was the special teams coach. So we'll be interested to see how he can do with this being the head coach for this new Los Angeles Rams team. And for the Seattle Seahawks, they come in this game 8-4-1. Right now, they have lost to the Green Bay Packers last week, still remaining first in the NFC West, and having a chance to win the division this week with a win or a Arizona Cardinals loss. And this one, I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks in this one. This team has just looked a lot better. Last week, not a good game for Russell Wilson. Did throw 5 interceptions. That one was a career high for him. Got beat up by the Green Bay Packers in that one. But I think Seattle's going to bounce back in this one. They are at home. I believe that's going to be a good game for them, especially going against a team that has a rookie quarterback in Jared Goff, a brand new head coach now in Fassel. So I think the Seattle Seahawks will take advantage of this one, and the Seahawks are going to win this 24-10. Next, we have a Saturday night football game, as this will be added on from this week until the end of the season, I believe. Maybe just this week and next week. But anyways, the Miami Dolphins will take on the New York Jets in an AFC East division battle. And this one, the Miami Dolphins took this game 8-5 with a win against the Arizona Cardinals last week. But did suffer a loss in that game as Tannehill was hurt. It has a knee injury in that one. It has been reported that he's going to be out for at least 2 weeks. So that means Matt Moore will be filling in at quarterback, and this is a crucial time for them to lose Ryan Tannehill, as this team right now in a chance to run in the playoffs. Right now, right outside the playoffs, behind Denver in the 6th seed. So right now you're gonna need some help from Matt Moore and see what he can do at quarterback. Maybe push him a little bit forward till Tannehill comes back week 17 possibly. And for the New York Jets, they'll be 4-9 coming to this game after getting a win against the San Francisco 49ers in overtime on Sunday. A great game by Powell as he ran for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns that game after Matt Forte was hurt. Let's select another good game in this one, and I believe this game is going to be more of a running game than this. But I'm going to stick with the Miami Dolphins in this one. I believe they just have the better team, even though they do have Matt Moore. We've seen what Ajayi can do when they don't use the passing game. He can do pretty good on the ground. I'm expecting a lot of running from this Miami Dolphins offense this week. Same with the New York Jets, depending on how Matt Forte is doing, if he's going to play. If not, Powell will probably be getting carries as well. So if you have either of those running backs, this might be a good game to play them. And this one, I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins pick up the win. I just think they're the better team. That's why I think the defense is going to step up more than the Jets defense. I mean, the Dolphins win this game 17-13. Now we'll head to our Sunday games, and we'll head up to 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Baltimore Ravens. The Eagles come in this game 5-8 with a loss to Washington last week, and right now on a 4-game losing streak after, like I mentioned, week after week. These guys start off with a 4-0 record. Ever since then, they've gone 1-8. So it's a disappointing season as Wentz looks like he was the quarterback that was going to help his team rise back to the playoffs, but it just collapsed through the end of the season. And then for the Buffalo Bills to come in this game 6-7 and suffering a close loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers, where they allowed over 230 yards to Le'Veon Bell. So defense not looking good in that one. Oh, excuse me, this is Baltimore Ravens. My bad. Wrong. Look at the wrong thing. But playing the Baltimore Ravens, who are 7-6, who ended up losing to the New England Patriots last week in a game that seemed like it was going to be a blowout for them. But they ended up coming back after a couple of key turnovers by the New England Patriots, but could not come back after that one. And right now have now lost that division lead they had, and right now a game out of the playoffs. This one, I believe the Ravens are going to pick up the win in this one. They are at home once again. I think Flacco will step up this week, and that number one defense is going to do a little better against this Eagles team who's been struggling all season long, and Wentz who's pretty much thrown 2 interceptions almost every game since they've had that bye week after they were going 4-0. I believe the Ravens are going to win this one at home against the Philadelphia Eagles, 20-13. Next, we have the Cleveland Browns taking on the Buffalo Bills this time. As Cleveland comes to this game 0-13, last week suffering a loss to Cincinnati, of course, on a 13-game losing streak, and now 3 games left to try to avoid tying the Detroit Lions record of going 0-16. I believe this is a game they have a chance to win this one going against the Buffalo team that is 6-7. Lost to Pittsburgh in a close one, like I mentioned before last week. Le'Veon Bell have a pretty good game against them. Even though I do think this game might be close, I still think the Bills are going to pick up the win in this one. I think McCoy's going to have a good game against this Cleveland Browns defense. He'll be able to take advantage of that. And I believe this Browns, they're going to keep it close. They're going to keep it interesting. RG3 getting his first start since week 1 last week did not look too good, but I think he's just trying to get the ball rolling a little bit. But I think the Bills are going to be the better team in this one. I think the Bills are going to win this one at home against the Cleveland Browns, 24-17. Next, we have the Green Bay Packers taking on the Chicago Bears in an NFC North battle. As the Green Bay come to this game 7-6, a win against Seattle last week, and a very, very big win at home last week against Seattle. And now, right now, on a 3-game winning streak, 2 games behind the Detroit Lions for the division lead. And for the Chicago Bears to come to this game 3-10 after they suffered a loss to Detroit last week. And in this one, I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. They've just been looking very, very strong. And like I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, once Aaron Rodgers gets the ball rolling, I think this team's going to be making a huge push for the playoffs. Right now they will be. And if Detroit ends up losing one of the games against Dallas or against the Dallas or New York Giants, there it is. I believe this team is going to have a shot for that NFC North Division Championship game as long as they remain undefeated in these next 2 games. An easy one, I think, here for the Green Bay Packers. They should be able to take care of the Chicago Bears, but you know how the division games can go sometimes. But I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers beating the Chicago Bears on the road, 31-13. Next, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Houston Texans. Jacksonville comes to this game 2-11, suffering a loss to Minnesota last week, and right now on an 8-game losing streak. And for the Houston Texans to come to this game 7-6 with a win against Indianapolis Colts, and a big win as that was a battle for the division lead in that one, as they remain first in the AFC South. But they did lose one of their receivers this week, as Braxton Miller is going to be out for the rest of the season with a shoulder injury, so a big loss for that receiving core. In this one, I'm going to go stick with the Houston Texans. I just think they have the better team in this one. Battle in the AFC South in this one. I think they should be able to take advantage against this weak Jaguars team. I think the offense should keep the ball rolling. Also, I should have a pretty good game in this one. See how the Jaguars do. They seem like they looked a lot better than they did last week against Minnesota. They kept the game close to Minnesota for a little bit there until the 4th quarter. But I'm going to go with the Houston Texans winning at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars, 24-10. Next, we have the Tennessee Titans taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Tennessee comes this game 7-6 with a win against the Denver Broncos last week. And right now, second in the AFC South. Like I mentioned, they are tied at the Houston Texans right now record-wise. I believe they do play on Week 17, so it should be an interesting game. Those 2 teams can remain tied with the record, same record going in that one. And then for the Kansas City Chiefs to come in this game 10-3 with a big win against Oakland on Thursday night last week. Right now on a 3-game winning streak, first in the AFC West Division. And this one, I'm going to stick with the Kansas City Chiefs in this one. They've looked strong all season long, playing what I like to call small ball in football, keeping the passes short, keeping the passes safe, and try to avoid those turnovers. Defenses look very, very strong so far this year. I think they're going to keep it up in this one against the Tennessee Titans, as they will beat them at home 20-14. And our last game here on part 1, we have the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Minnesota Vikings. The Colts come in this game 6-7 after suffering a loss against Houston last week, so that puts them now a game behind for the division lead in the AFC South. And then for the Minnesota Vikings, they come in this game 7-6, winning against Jacksonville last week, and right now 2 games behind the Detroit Lions for that division lead. Right now they need Detroit to lose out for the rest of the season for them to even have a chance for that division championship. So hoping for a miracle for them right now. If not, they're going to be trying to chase for that wild card spot, which we'll be talking about in part 2 in the NFC playoff picture. But in this one, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings picking up the win in this one. They are home. I believe Sam Bradford will be able to do good. There's talks about Adrian Peterson coming back next week, so that should be interesting to look at as well. But I think that they're going to be able to beat up these Colts team that's been on and off this season. But I think the Vikings defense will step up in this, but the Minnesota Vikings will just hold on to beating the Indianapolis Colts in this one, 24-21. So that's it for part 1. If you guys want to watch part 2, there will be a link below. You can just click on that, and it'll take you right to that one. If you guys want to comment below, I'd love to hear what you guys got to say. What do you guys think about these games? Do you agree with my picks? Why do you agree? Why do you disagree? What do you think about the playoff picture right now? Do you think any of these teams are out of the playoffs, can make it into the playoffs right now? Love to hear what you guys got to say. If you guys want to talk with me on Twitter, you can do that at ColeMartins57. Love to talk about sports. Love to talk about anything. If you guys want to have a talk with me as well, you can do that. And love to talk to all you guys. So again, that is at ColeMartins57. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more of my videos, and please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate both of those. And thank you guys for tuning in this video. And you guys all have a great day.